welcome back to From the Clubhouse. Nice to have you along. Thanks as well for all of the emails we've been receiving this past week. Of course, just a reminder, info@fromtheclubhouse.co.za. And now, of course, our second guest for the evening. Nice to welcome on board and on set, Sybrandt Engelbrecht. Sybrandt, good evening. Welcome to you.
Good evening. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining us. First Class Cricketer of the Year award for 2012-2013. It's a bit belated, but well done for that.
Thank you.
And obviously, therefore, a good season for you. Any highlights, any key moments for you that you can recall?
Yeah, firstly, I think it was a good season for the side as well. It was a tough season. I think we learned a lot. But it was a season where we invested in a lot of good habits. For myself, I'm fortunate enough it went relatively well. Couple of highlights. 175 against Northerns probably stands out, and then probably the biggest highlight of them all was probably getting the double 100 against Namibia last game of the season. To top it all off with the win in the 3-day game as well as in the Pro 20. So all in all, a good season, a hard season, but looking forward to this season.
I was saying to Clinton Dupree off camera that possibly you are the fastest cricketer that I know. Is that probably still true? Is there anybody faster than you?
Jeez, I don't know.
I haven't seen them if they're out there.
Yeah. Jeez, well, I'll probably try and run as fast as I can, but I'm sure there's a couple of fast guys around, and guys like Mohammed Vali and the likes are fast as well. But thanks for the compliment.
You're welcome.
I think, Sybrandt, taking you back to your highlights, taking back to 2008 Kuala Lumpur, the catch you took in the Under-19 World Cup. Do you still see that as a highlight?
Yeah, I think definitely. Looking back, it's been a couple of years since the catch, but it's always, it's always something to be proud of and something to look back on, be happy about, and something to strive towards again. That I always try and push myself in the fielding department as well as bowling and batting. But yeah, good memories, happy memories. Unfortunate to lose in the final against India, but it was good. It was a good experience. Which
obviously set the stage for you and continuing to play for Northerns and then back here down in the Cape.
Yeah, it was a great experience, a great opportunity to go with the Under-19 side, and coming down here to the Cape Cobras in 2008, being around, when Shooks was the coach, it was a great experience, being around some of the best players in the world. Unbelievable experience and experience gained. So yeah, it was good. Very happy about it.
Now we're talking some formidable coaches, some good names, some experiences. Being an all-rounder, suiting the game, the international T20, IPL, Champions League, the request for versatile players, all-rounders, and I think you are molded into that all-rounder where you're the batsman, off-spinner, and a pretty decent fielder with an average of 35 plus in first class cricket, 29 wickets and 17 catches. Not anybody can do that in first class. Huh?
Yeah, look, I think firstly to speak about the average, I'd like to get that up over 40s. But T20 cricket is all about being able to be ready whenever the captain asks you to do whatever job. As a batsman, you have to be able to clear the boundary, as well as have your touch game in order. As a bowler, you have to be able to read batsmen, make sure that everything's in order, and obviously as a fielder, try and stop as many runs as possible. So I think I'm lucky in the sense that I do all three, and I try and do all three as well as possible. But there's still space for improvement, and there's definitely things to learn. And experiences to be gained throughout the season, coming, the first class scenes on its way, and everything's going. So yeah, let's hope it improves.
You talk about the fact that the season is just a few days away. I actually can't believe that. It's sort of all of a sudden rushed up on us. Are you ready for it? Are you excited?
Yeah, I think as a side, Fake Davids, the amateur coach, has done a phenomenal job at getting the guys physically and mentally ready for the season. So we've had an awesome pre-season. It's been a great learning curve. Guys have honed their skills. So it's been a good off-season. The guys are still nice and fresh. But as you rightly say, it has flown. it feels like yesterday that we came back from Namibia, and that's already, a couple of months ago. So, but the body's feeling good. The boys are good. The boys are amped, ready to go, and I hope we can bring some silverware back to Cape Town.
The program, this program from the Clubhouse specifically looks at the journey, I suppose, from school to club cricket to first class level and then probably onto franchise and national level. How often do you get to play? Tell us firstly, your club is?
Yeah, I play for Western Province Cricket Club. And with a busy schedule at first class level, it is pretty tough to play for the club. But we try, as players, we try and get to all the games that we possibly can and make sure that we get, and provide all the effort and time that we can towards the club, because at the end of the day, throughout your club performances, that's where most of the players arrived into the first class side. So we need to understand that, and we need to honor the club as well and say, thanks club, but we want to put back. And there's a couple of youngsters at the club now at Western Province Cricket Club, exciting bunch of guys as well. We went to club champs last year and it didn't go as well as we would have liked. So there's definitely room for improvement as well. So we're definitely going to try and improve on that and hopefully take the league again and grow as a club as well.
You were talking earlier about the fact that you worked with some pretty big names in the game, and I can tell you that story is not finished yet. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to be exposed to even more big names coming, as your career tracks itself forward. But I guess the reverse is also true in that the youngsters that you mentioned at Western Province Cricket Club will look to you, to give them guidance, to inspire them, to motivate them, to set the example. How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it's nice being able to pass on some of the awesome advice that I've gotten over the last couple of years from some of the senior franchise players, some of the international players. And it's great then going back to a couple of the youngsters at the club, or even in the first class side, chatting to them, making sure that they're comfortable, making sure that their growth graph, as if you can call it like that, is also on the right track. They always come to you and ask you questions, and we always try and help out as much as we can. But in saying that, I mean, as much as they learn, we learn on an everyday basis. And I mean, training with the Cobras and those guys, Justin Kemp, Dane Villas, and the likes, they wealth of knowledge. So it's great being around them and just trying to steal a little bit with our ears.
Absolutely. Sybrandt Engelbrecht, our guest in studio today on From the Clubhouse, and our player profile guest specifically. Thanks very much for joining us. All the very best. I mean, as you're saying, just a few days to the start of the season. All the very best for the season. And we look forward to maybe seeing you in the course of the season that lies ahead and get an update on what the career is looking like, what the score is looking like, any more blistering catches, and if we've gotten any faster.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
There we go, of course, talking to Sybrandt Engelbrecht. We'll be right back after this break.